This is a user video for the new 2023 Stealth Pro electric scooter. Our last generation model had lead acid batteries, and it also had storage under the seats, which this one no longer has the storage because we added lithium batteries to get it more range out of the scooter. So just to go over how you use this new scooter. First, when you receive your scooter, if your seat will be locked and it would have a breaker underneath. So to open your trunk, you would have to turn this ignition key backwards and you will hear click, and that would pop your seat open. If you push down, it won't work. So some people push down and turn to the left, that only locks the steering wheel. So you just want to turn backwards. That will release your seat. When you go to close your seat, sometimes you should be able to just push firmly right there and that'll lock. Then you click to unlock it. If it doesn't go well with a firm push, just kind of like give it a bang, and then that'll latch your seat. Then you turn reverse to pop your seat open. And to turn your scooter on, this plug should be already plugged in. If not, just plug it into the battery. This is a breaker. This shuts off all the power going from the battery to the bike. And that feature is good to use if you plan on storing a scooter for a few months without use. Turn that breaker off. This way your battery won't be drawing a slow charge and burn your battery down. And you also have the option of charging this battery on the bike, or you can take it out of the bike and bring it in your house for people who are living in apartments or whatever and don't have that option of running extension cords or anything out the window. You can just take that battery and run it right into the house and charge it. To charge it, you have a little charging port right there, and it'll go right into a regular house outlet to charge your battery. Now to get your scooter started, just turn your ignition key on. Well, first we got to turn on a breaker. That little chirp lets you know that the battery is on now. Then once you turn it on, you'll hear that Bluetooth mode. Here. So we'll start with the Bluetooth. When that says Bluetooth, go to your Bluetooth settings. You'll see the bike pop in. Just click it like you would add a speaker to your Bluetooth, and the bike will be paired to your phone at that point. Then you have all your controls, volume up, volume down, skip stations, and so on those controls. And questions we get asked is some people don't want to hear that sound Bluetooth connection all the time, and can you turn it off? And the answer is no, you cannot turn that feature off. This bike is in kilometers, not miles per hour, and you cannot change the settings because the bikes are from China, so the settings on this cannot be changed. So kilometers, it's gonna show, more than what the bike is doing. So some people confuse the kilometer and that they're actually doing the miles per hour in them. So, you have to do the math or just use your phone if you wanna know the exact speed that you're going. Now to start the bike, like right now the bike is on, and you'll notice you can't get the wheels to turn, so it have a park feature. So to get it out of park, you have to squeeze any one of the brakes, and that'll release it out of park. Now your wheels will start spinning. Now you have 3 speed levels. Number 1 will be your slowest, and 3 will be your fastest. And once you're going on a bike, when you press the brakes, this have a safety that it will shut off power to the motor until you release the brakes to be able to throttle again. On the controls here, you have your light switch for on and high and parking lights, and then all the way lights. And then over here you have your high beams. low and high, and here you have your signal lights left and right, and you have your horn. Over here, this is your hazard lights. So you get both flashers blinking at the same time for your hazards. These little glass bottles right here, this is your brake reservoir, your fluid for your brake fluid. It's actually mineral oils. You should never have to mess with that until, you know, if your brake pads go and you start leaking brake fluids from not changing your pads in times, then you would lose fluid. Otherwise, you should never have to refill those reservoirs. So on your bike, you have your headlights, high and low beams. Your bike also comes with disc brakes for stopping faster. And your bike also comes with foot pegs for backseat riders, for second passengers. And then you also have two kickstands. One is a regular kickstand when you just want to lean it. And the other one is a kickstand to bring the bike up off the wheels. So to get that to work, like to get it off the kickstand, you just roll forward. And when you want to get it on the kickstand, you just kick on this. And a lot of people think they have to lift up on a bike, but you don't. You just kick on it hard enough, the bike will roll backwards up onto the kickstand. Like so. Down on the back, you have these little hand grips where the backseat passenger can grab on that or hold on to the driver as you're driving. And over here with your key, like I said, if you want to lock the steering wheel, you can push this key inwards and turn it to the left, and that'll lock your steering wheel. Nope, it didn't lock it. This one doesn't lock the steering wheel, so yours, this newer version, might not lock, or either I'm doing something wrong. Okay, off to the next. You have your little hook right here for holding a handbag or, you know, any kind of bag if you want. Inside, you should see your charger and this little mat. That little mat just goes right there if you want to use it. And you also have an alarm system on this bike. So to work your alarm system, you have these three symbols on there. You have your unlock, your lock, and you also have this lightning button. Is a remote start where you don't need the key in the ignition. You press that twice and that will turn your bike on.
Bluetooth mode.
And then to turn it off,
Here.
just press the unlock button and it'll turn it back off. When you want to have your alarm on, just press the lock button. And then that sets your alarm. So once your alarm is set, if anybody goes to try to roll your bike or anything, you'll get first a short warning that somebody's touching your bike. If I go to roll it, and then if they roll it again after that warning, then the alarm will go on full force and it'll lock up your wheels, where if they try to roll forward, the bike will try to roll backwards on them. And it'll just keep locking it up where you can't roll this bike. And then to shut your alarm off, just push the unlock button and that'll shut the alarm off. We get questions about these little decorative foot pads. These are just decorative. I would not stand on these. It's just for decorations. So it's not really made for somebody riding on the front of your bike while you're riding. It's dangerous. And as far as your VIN number will be inside this little casing right there. That'll say VIN on it to find your VIN number. And then you also have this little lock right here. And you'll see on your key, there's a little shape to fit that lock. When you turn that, it's just closing up the ignition hole, so nobody can kind of like, you know, try to stick something in there to try to get your bike to go. So if you stick this puzzle part in that puzzle and turn it, there's a little door will close to block off that ignition part right there. So they won't be able to stick anything in there to try to make it work. On your dashboard, you'll see your battery levels,
Bluetooth mode,
and your speed,
paired,
and how many miles you've driven the bike. And like I said, this is in kilometers. So like I said, if you put this in 3, and you start to see how fast it's going in kilometers. The speedometer's on the front wheel, so it's not showing on here. But once it, you know, it may show 70 and you may be really doing 50 because this kilometers is different from miles per hour. And that's it for your user manual for the Stealth Pro. The only other options you have if you catch a flat tire, these are no inner tubes in these tires. They're airless tires, so you can plug the hose just like a motorcycle or a car, plugging a car tire. You would just buy the little plugs and just stick the little rubber inside of the hose and plug your hose, put a little glue around it, and that would plug your hose for flat tires. Amazon have these little screw-in plugs that makes it even easier, where you can just put some glue on these little screw plugs and screw it right into the hole, and you can fix a flat tire within a few minutes. And that's for the Stealth Pro.